Hello, hello. How's it going? Hope everyone's good. Johnny B says hi. How you doing, Johnny? Hope you're well. Bagwell says hi. Justin says for real. Yes. Depends. It depends on the context of the question. Justin also says bum 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 5 times. Hope you're good, Justin. Mia Fernandez said hello. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Netherlands team just coming out now. Hoping this will be a pretty high scoring game. Fingers crossed. Van Dijk, the Dutch captain. Malta captain, I have absolutely no idea who that is. Something with a G. Gualamia, possibly. Got Dan in the chat. How you doing, Dan? Hope things are well in sunny Banbury. It says, hi, what do you think to Pep Linders going to be the new assistant coach at our fierce rivals, Man City? Interesting. Malta got a defender called Carragher, by the way. What the hell? since when is Carragher like a common name? What the hell? Let me show you. Got a defender called Carragher. Not Jamie Carragher, but the number 18, Carragher. How wild is that? Anyway, Dan was saying, what do you think? At first, I didn't really care, you know. At first, I was like, whatever, who cares? I think he's kind of rubbish anyway. I think he kind of talked a bit too much. I think I felt like he kind of believed his own hype, if you know what I mean. I also feel like when he started getting more control at Liverpool, that's when kind of Liverpool started going south. So I was like, whatever, who gives a crap? But now I've seen him in the Man City kit. I can't lie, I'm a bit annoyed. Now I've seen him in the blue kit. I want to give him a bit of a smack. But so yeah, now it kind of bothers me slightly, but it doesn't bother me too much because I don't think he's very good, if you know what I mean. So yeah, what do you think? Fish says yo. Onigine 2580 says yo. Onigine also asks, you watch every match? Pretty much most matches, yeah. Pretty much like one a day. Mostly. There are some exceptions. On Sunday we did 2 because we had the Nations League playoff in the morning and then we had the final in the evening. But yeah, generally kind of once one a day. But it depends. We do a lot though. We do a lot. This match is just kicked off. Let's set the timer. Frimpong's not playing, by the way. That's the whole reason I'm here, is to see Frimpong. And he's not even here. Sunny says, why are we watching this match? Like, there is nothing special about it. It's a guaranteed Dutch win. I hear ya. It's more because I wanted to see the Liverpool players. So, Van Dijk, Gravenberch, Gakpo, and hopefully also Frimpong, but Frimpong's on the bench. So yeah, I had a choice between this and the England match, but the England match is going to be boring as hell. So this is my closest way of kind of watching the Liverpool match. Dan says, also Liverpool haven't gotten a WIRTZ over the line yet. Is that concerning? Again, like not too concerning. I found out today, like like the European transfer window is closing today, and then it's going to open again. So the WIRTZ transfer will probably get delayed. But from my perspective, like I can understand why people are concerned. I can understand why people are concerned. Me personally, I'm not too worried. But if there isn't significant movement in the next week, then I might become a little worried. But I understand why people are kind of getting concerned, because I think this WIRTZ thing must have started like when the club internally released it to kind of journalists. So I'm like, guys, if you're gonna release it internally to journalists as if it's wrapped up, do that like a few days before. Don't do that a few weeks before. You know what I mean? Oh, is it? Is it James Carragher? Is it that guy, James Carragher? Then I've heard of him, James Carragher. It's Jamie Carragher's son, who plays for Malta. His grandparents come from Malta, right? Okay, fair enough. Dan has solved the mystery of Carragher, because I was thinking, since when is there another player called Carragher? But then I remembered, Jamie Carragher has a son called James Carragher, and so it's him. Johnny says, I denied that girl. Is this the 20-year-old girl? You need to give us more details on that. Kind of, how did it happen? or maybe you don't, because you were saying you wanted to take her for coffee, right? That was the last update. So what happened? I thought you liked her, or are you playing hard to get? Fish is not happy because City got Shirky. Yeah, I saw that today. 30 million. Netherlands. I think that was Gakpo just hit it over the bar. No, it was Kluivert. Yeah, it's a good deal for it's a good deal for them. Again, I'm not quite sure how it will work out for him at City, because I feel like City is the type of club where like you have to bang immediately, and if you don't bang immediately, they'll get rid of you. They'll get somebody else in 6 months. I feel like a club like Liverpool, where you're given space to develop, where you're given space to grow, where you're given space to kind of mess up, would be better. By the way, this time is completely wrong. It's 3 minutes 50, and I think I put it in the seconds. I just noticed. That'll do. Sunny says, who are playing England? I think it's Senegal. Fish wanted a Shirky. Fish says, hi, by the way. Hi, Fish. How have you been? Hope you've been well in the past few days. It was the mini transfer window which closed, so that players can be signed and registered for the Club World Cup tournament starting on Sunday. Okay, that makes sense. And then the transfer window reopens on the 16th of June. Right, okay. With that in mind, then, there will probably be no movement on the WIRTZ stuff until next week. So in that case, I'll change my prediction. I think this is a penalty, by the way, to Netherlands. Originally, I said if there's no movement this week, I'll be concerned. But now that the window is essentially going to close, I'll change it to say if there's no movement next week, then I'll be concerned. Fish says the GOAT. Who's the GOAT? Am I the GOAT? Are you the GOAT? I feel like you're the GOAT. Sunny says, who's Jamie Carragher, the Liverpool defender? Right, so to give you some context, I was looking at the lineup, as you can see here, and you see that number 18, Carragher, and I was like, what the hell? There's another player somewhere called Carragher. What's that about? And then someone's at my door. Let me just check who's at my door. Oh, it's just people selling shit. I'll ignore them. The thing is, like, they can clearly see me because my window's fucking open, but never mind. It's like, why are you turning up at people's houses at 8 o'clock at night trying to sell stuff? It's crazy. But anyway, I don't know if I have to whisper now so that they can't hear me, but screw them. Yeah, this Carragher guy. Apparently, it's Jamie Carragher's son, so that's cleared that up. Up and Up and Job Hove, very good song by Gurdas Man. I don't know if it's a reference to that. It says, you never know, WIRTZ might have gone through and the club are waiting to announce. You might be right. Another thing is Trent's whole announcement thing at Real Madrid is going to happen on Thursday. So maybe the club are kind of waiting for that to happen first, and then they do it on the same day, or they do it a day later. But to be honest, I would estimate that it's kind of mostly done, probably. But we don't know for certain, to be fair, but we're all kind of speculating. Fish keeps saying FCSB. What's FCSB? What is that? I thought it might be FC Barcelona, but let me know. Sunny says, by the way, what happened to Phil Foden? The once wonder kid, like nowhere to be seen or to be heard. Yeah, he had a bit of a disastrous season, should we say? I don't know. Maybe some things is going on in his personal life. I don't know. Maybe he decided to have another 4 kids. Who knows? But like from my perspective, and I'm sure from most people's perspective, like we're willing to kind of give players an off season here and there. Let's see how he does next season. Ams26 says, do you think Bruno is here to stay at United to win trophies, and that's why he did not take the money? Could be. I mean, it seems like the kind of allure, if that's the right word, the allure and the attraction of Saudi doesn't seem to be what it was. Like Bruno rejected them, Osimhen rejected them, apparently Nunez has rejected them as well. So I don't. Whilst you do get a lot of money, they've probably seen the Saudi league play out now with kind of Ronaldo. It's a penalty, by the way, to Netherlands. With Ronaldo, Mane, Neymar. And they've probably seen that and be like, you know what? Look, it don't look all that. So, from Bruno's perspective, maybe he likes Manchester. He's the captain of Manchester, so perhaps he feels a degree of responsibility. The flip side is, I think, if Ineos want to cash in on him to gain 100 million. Memphis has just scored, by the way. And I think if they do kind of cash in on him, then maybe he wants to stay in Europe. But yeah, it seems like to me like players are not like so desperate to kind of go to Saudi anymore, to be honest. 1-0. Fish says Google it. Everything you tell me to Google, Fish, I always have to do in a private window. The last thing you made me Google was like Bree, Dickus, Brickus. FSCB stands for Financial Services Culture Board. I don't think that's what you mean. If I put in FSCB brain rot, because that's the stuff you normally make me Google, it's not a thing. Oh no, I've spelled it wrong. It's FCSB. Oh, it's Football Club Steaua Bucuresti. I've been to Bucharest. There's a bit of culture for you. I've been to Bucharest before. But yeah, what about them? Are they playing or something, or what go on? Sunny says, how much is WIRTZ deal worth? I heard nearly 140 million. Is it really worth that for one player? For me, no. To be honest, like no. You know what I mean? Like if it was my money, I wouldn't spend that much on one player. I think that's a crazy amount of money, especially kind of given what you can do with that much money. So I think it's like 120 million pounds. But even then, I'd say the kind of caveat to that is Liverpool are not really gonna spend 120 million. What they're gonna do is they're gonna sell Diaz, they're gonna sell Elliott. Just sell Diaz and Elliott, then you've probably covered 120 million, right? Diaz 70-ish, Elliott 50-ish. So from a purely from a purely numbers perspective, it doesn't seem to make sense. But then if you think of it as, okay, we're going to swap Elliott and Diaz for WIRTZ, then in that kind of context, it suddenly does make sense. Fish says, Bree because Dickus is hot. Yes, you have made me aware that this particular penguin is hot. Bruno Fernandes in the Liverpool midfield. And is any midfielder in Liverpool better than prime Bruno Fernandes? Controversial. I don't think prime Bruno Fernandes was all that, to be honest. Like his passing was decent, but he never... I was never particularly impressed with him. Like he got goals and things, and he got kind of assists here and there, but I was never really wowed by him. And this is exclusive of his attitude. Leaving that to the side, him just as a player, I think he was kind of vastly overrated. I'd perhaps go as far as to say Man United building their team around him is part of what caused the problem. Fish says a football club Bucharest. Yeah, I got that. Fish says Bree because Dickus is hot and cute and beautiful. Lucky them. Johnny says, why do you sometimes look at the side? Good point, because there's a window there and there's like there's people selling Sky TV for some reason, and I'm like, number one, like why are they here at 8 o'clock at night? So I'm just looking what they're doing because there's a window over here. As you can see, the window behind me, there's another window here. So that's what it is. So it's just me looking outside what's going on. I don't realize I'm doing it, but then sometimes I watch this back and I'm like, damn, I keep doing that. That's really weird. I mean, I guess I could close the blind, but then I might lose a bit of light. Fish's top 10 hottest footballers. Number 1 is Bree because Dickus. Number 2 is Tung Sahur. 3 is Burr Paratim. 4 is Daily Blind. 5 is himself. 6 is Pepe Reina. 7 is Sillison. 8 is Obama. 9 is... I never know how to pronounce that because I'm not like much of a rap music guy. Is that pronounced extension or something? And at position 10, again, you seem to have stepped on something sharp. Borussia Dortmund, BVB, I think, says true, but I don't think you can blame it all on him. He shouldn't be our only world-class player. That's true as well. Like my point was, I think he's good, but I don't think like he's a world beater. But the flip side is him being good is still better than like people who are not good, if you know what I mean. For want of a better word, I always felt like he was kind of one of the best of a bad bunch. But then the natural question is kind of, why is the bunch so bad? I mean, at least they're trying to fix that now. Rashford's gone. It looks like he might be back, but I think they'll probably try and sell him. Garnacho they're trying to get rid of. Sancho they're trying to get rid of. If they get the Mbuemo deal over the line, I think that would be a nice signing, especially if the wage is respectable. Someone the other day was saying it's going to be 150 grand a week. So I'm doing it again. And like if they get Mbuemo on 150 grand a week, that's very good. That you know, I think that's a positive sign. Ooh, 2-0. Is that Memphis or is that Clivert? I think that's Clivert. No, it's Memphis. Jesus Christ. They've all got like short hair and then like a thick beard. And I'm like, is that Clivert or is that Memphis? It's Memphis. 2-0. This is gonna be a mauling. Christian, the Inter Milan fan, says ciao, hi. How you doing, Christian? How are things in La Italia? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Fish But Fish, you said top 10 hottest footballers list. Now you're including more. So is it not the top 20? 11 is Toilet, 12 is himself, 13 is Chocolate Cake, 14 is Dilara, 15 is Ah. I like how is always present in your lists. 16 is These Nuts Liverment versus Sven Botman. 17 is Claire the Loon. 18 is Gusto. Now, I was going to say, you haven't included any classical composers today, but to be fair, last time your classical composers they came in the top 20 list as well last time. I remember. So I'm glad there's a level of consistency. Chopin, is it Chopin or Chopin? And the number one Savage. Johnny's prediction is 10-0. I think the correct prediction might be the numbers that you have after your name there, Johnny. So I think the score is going to be 69, 69, 69, 69, 53, 26, 54, 0. Onigine says, can you show the screen? I wish I could, but they won't let me. Sunny says 5-0, the biggest loss in a European final. Yeah, I heard that. It's kind of not what you want, is it? Especially like, getting to the final, being really excited about the final, doing all the media interviews for the final, and then getting battered. It's not ideal. BVB says, I feel if you put a midfielder with legs like Edison from Atlanta next to him, he would be better. True. I think Man United's midfield needs legs. Casemiro ain't got legs. Casemiro's basically in a wheelchair right now. Kobe Mainu isn't the most mobile. And again, the issue for me is they kind of play two in midfield because of Amarim's system. And I'm like, other teams are playing three and they've got these athletes, man. Whereas Man United have got two and they're not the quickest two. I think Ugarte is quite good physically, but it's probably something they need to address. RG255 says, remember that abandoned house I was talking about? I do. Is this the abandoned house in Grantham with the black bags? I feel like another morbid story is about to follow. Fish says no. I denied her because of you guys. I liked her, but she's a bit older and a lot kinky. She sent me inappropriate photos, and when I said no, she threatened me that she will tell her dad / my coach that he will kick me out of the team. Then I talked to my coach. He said his daughter is like that and to ignore her, so I blocked her. So you've been the mature person. You're the younger person in this situation, but you've been the mature. You've been the mature adult, so that's good to hear. That is good to hear. Sunny says you can bring Zidane, Iniesta and Xavi in Man United. They'll still be trash. After all, Man United is the graveyard of football. Yeah, I wonder if they have kind of additional. 3-0. Is that Van Dijk? I think Van Dijk just scored. Van Dijk just scored a shot. I think Van Dijk just scored a shot from like outside the box. What the hell? Van Dijk just scored a shot. Okay, number one, why is kind of Van Dijk so high up? Nah, Van Dijk won the ball in midfield and then scored a shot from outside the box. What the hell? Fair enough. That's an amazing shot to be. You're gonna be seeing highlights of that for a while. Van Dijk literally won the ball in midfield. Yeah. Carried on dribbling a bit and then took a shot from outside the box and just smacked it into the goal. That was amazing. I was going to say I didn't know that Van Dijk had that in him, but he was very good at Celtic. Kiko the Goat says, any news on WIRTZ? Nope, nothing's changed yet. People will pretend there's news. You'll see thumbnails on YouTube like WIRTZ update, WIRTZ is coming. Oh, like no, nothing's changed. Nothing has changed at all. Even if you're on the news, on Twitter, they'll be like, ooh, important WIRTZ update, latest update. Nothing has changed for 2 weeks. It's just people lying to you, unfortunately. BVB, yeah, but Ugarte isn't someone I'd play if we're keeping possession well. He's more of a destroyer. Yes, he's more. The kind of context I was talking in was more of a he's got legs context. So we were saying, look, Casemiro's basically in a wheelchair. Mainu's not the most mobile, but Ugate's okay. But I agree with you. His passing ain't great. But at least he offers something. RG255 says it just got burnt out. What? Like someone set that house on fire? What the hell? Were they trying to hide the evidence in those black bags? What's going on there? What happens if they reject this bid? Do you think they try again or go for someone else? Is this on the WIRTZ thing? I think I've heard, and again, with respect to the news, apparently the next bid is going to be the final bid of about 118 million. I reckon if that gets rejected, I think Liverpool tell them to do one. And to be honest, I wouldn't blame them. I really want WIRTZ, but I don't want WIRTZ at the expense of being completely bent over. Like we want their player, but I think we need to have a certain level of dignity and a certain level of kind of self-respect, because where does this end? So I think if I'm honest, 120 million is too much anyway. It's like you're buying a pizza, right? And you're really hungry, and the guy says, I don't know, £30. And if you're starving, you might be like, okay, go on. But then when they start asking like £50 for a pizza, you're like, nah, F you, man. I know I'm hungry, but you're taking the mick here. Sunny says only Romano, here we go, can be trusted. True, Romano and I think Ornstein to a certain degree. RG255 says yes about the house. Zain says what about Isak? Yeah, the Isak news has kind of increased in the past few days. Perhaps not increased, but it's come back into, what's the word? It's had attention put back on it that Liverpool are still interested. Again, a situation might happen where Leverkusen keep asking for kind of ridiculous money for WIRTZ, and then Liverpool say, you know what, allow you, we'll get Isak instead. But yeah, I'm definitely not one of these just pay them what they want. I'm like, nah, don't pay them what they want. Get a good deal out of it. And if there's no good deal, tell them to do one. Maybe it's an age thing. Johnny says, so now I'm single. So if any girl want a 17-year-old free kick merchant who's 5'10" and have a baby face, tell me. Well, Johnny's on the market, but Johnny, what are your requirements? So like, what are you looking for? So you've said what you can offer. So you're 17 years old, you're 5'10", you got a baby face, you enjoy football. What are you looking for? So what age range are you looking for? And be careful. And point number 2, what hobbies does the girl need to have? Does she need to like football? Does she need to like, I don't know, computer games? Know what I mean? You considering how many free kicks you score, you can afford to be picky. 35 is BBC. I won't ask what that means. 36 is his friend. 37 is 38 is Semedo. 39 is Jordan Henderson. And 40 is Klopp's lot. So this is your top 10 hottest footballers list, Fish, which has now gone up to number 40. I mean, what more can I say? But WIRTZ will be free next year, right? Leverkusen won't get anything for him because WIRTZ will leave them no matter what. Yeah, he'll be free in 2 years. He'll be free in 2 years. So I think that should put a level of kind of pressure on Leverkusen. I'd hope. But let's see. I have Liverpool Goals TV says, hello, how are you? Good. Not too bad, not too bad. I just had somebody come to my door selling Sky TV at like 8 o'clock. So everyone was asking, why do you keep looking to the left? And I'm like, there's a window there. And I'm confused as to why people are selling Sky TV at 8 o'clock. But other than that, all good. All good in the hood. How about you? Fish says, hi, Liverpool Goals TV. So Fish can be normal at times. We've had discussions with Osman. Yeah, so with the Osman thing, apparently he's rejected Saudi because it would appear Saudi isn't quite the allure that it once was. Apparently Nunes has rejected Saudi as well. So yeah, I mean, for the right fee. I mean, I've heard like 60 million be rumored, kind of that sort of price bracket. I was gonna say I think it's worth the risk. 60 million is perhaps a tad above what would be considered a risk, but it's I mean, if he fits the profile, maybe he's the one. I don't know if he'd disappear for AFCON though. That would be the only concern. Because the whole losing Salah on AFCON is not ideal. Would Osimhen also disappear? Is he Nigerian? Possibly. Benjamin Sesko is also great, even if you play him as a false 9. Yeah, I think he might be Arsenal banned. I think it might be Arsenal banned. RG255 said, bro, someone just looked at you. Who was the someone? Are you like outside at the moment or what's going on there? BBC means Benzema, Bale, Cristiano. Yeah, it does mean that. It also means British Broadcasting Corporation. Those are the only 2 acronyms I know for that. Liverpool Goals TV. I'm not worried about the WIRTZ deal. It will go through. This is the biggest deal ever for the club, so it has to be done properly and they can't be rushed. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%. I think it will go through as well. I think these things can just take a bit of time sometimes. And I think the kind of stop-start nature of where we're at right now perhaps doesn't help in the sense of it seemed to be kind of ramping up and then there was Nations League and it kind of went quiet. And then maybe it started ramping up for a day and now the transfer window is closed for a week. So it's going to ramp down again. So it keeps kind of stopping and starting. I think that level of kind of volatility perhaps doesn't help matters when you're dealing with that much money, but I think it will get done. I think it will get done. If it doesn't get done, then I think the club deserves to look silly. But I think they'll do it. I think they'll sort it. Sonny says, wasn't Nunes in links with Barcelona? It depends. Do you want him? You can have him. You can have him if you want him. I think it was Diaz that was more linked with Barcelona, to be fair. Nunes was linked with Saudi, which he's apparently turned down. And Nunes was also linked with Napoli and Atletico. Liverpool Gold says the club has it under control. Yeah, I'm not too worried. I'm not panicking. I think sometimes you go on Twitter and like 100 people are all losing their mind. I saw somebody, and I didn't bother replying, but like somebody said, again, that ALEXA thing has just turned on when I said Twitter for some reason. Somebody on Twitter said, there's been no WIRTZ news. It's the worst day of my life. And I thought people would be making fun of him in the replies, but everyone was agreeing. And I thought, am I in some sort of twilight zone here? Is that honestly the worst day of your life? But yeah, it is what it is. RG255 said, someone is in the house. That's not ideal. I hope you're okay. Liverpool Goals TV will never fight alone, and neither will Fish. £120 million bid. What will be the expectations, and what if he fails to live up to those expectations? To be honest, it's pretty much impossible, I think, to live up to those expectations, unless you're like a kind of Van Dijk type of figure. It's gonna be very difficult to live up to those expectations. But let's see what happens. I think he's I think this is sorry, Netherlands just keep on getting closer. I wonder if this game will be double figures, you know? Oh, Gakpo. Yeah. I mean, what if he fails to live up to those expectations? It depends on the extent of it. If he kind of just falls kind of slightly below, they'll probably keep him and kind of try and develop him. Whereas if he falls significantly below the expectations of the price tag, for example, Nunes, then in 3 years they'll probably try and sell him. But nobody really knows, to be fair. But I think the fans will kind of give him plenty of time. It's a lot of it is a lot of pressure to know you're coming for that much money. Sonny says, I'm sorry, it was Diaz. We already had Rafinha for left wing with Torres in the bench, so I don't think he'll be ideal for the club. Yeah, with the Diaz link, the Diaz links, they are a bit peculiar. Like, I don't know, it's more the fact that he's available and therefore you want him, rather than you need him, if you know what I mean. It's like if someone comes to your door selling, I don't know. If someone comes to your door selling a fan, you're like, yeah, I'll have one of those. But you didn't want it an hour ago. That's what the Diaz thing kind of feels like. Like, they didn't want Diaz before, but now he's available. They're like, oh, okay, wouldn't mind a bit of that. Fish, your list has already gone up to 40. So why are you going back down to 21? 21, Jan Oblak. 22 PM, 23, 24. I don't know. But if you don't know, you should only go up to 29, surely. 20, like, I don't know, can't count as a player on your list. 25, Salah, Vega, Chopin, Henri, Shakespeare, and Brie Dickus. Brickus Dickus. Yeah. I often wonder what you're on, Fish, and if you can share some of that. So these are Johnny's requirements for the girl that he's looking for. His requirements are: he wants a girl between 17 to 19, just not be overweight, funny, at least 5'8", for a girl's height. Interesting. What's the average height for a girl? I swear the average height for a girl is like 5'5", but your requirements are your requirements. Looks at least 8 out of 10. I've just read the end of it. Play football and chess. Love me. Have no problem with me having a side chick. You know what? I like. There's me thinking, you know what, 5'8" you might struggle with, and then I read the end, no problem with me having a side chick. Well, you never know. Many people are into open relationships these days. I'm not sure if they are at 17, but you can always aim high. RG255 is going inside now. It's good to hear. Liverpool Goals says the expectations are a good point, and it's probably why the club is also taking the deal step by step. The club also does not want to come forward as desperate. WIRTZ knows he is joining too. Very true. I mean, we just have to kind of look back at what happened in the last week. There was a reporter that asked WIRTZ about Liverpool, and he kind of nodded, which again, you can say, you know what, okay, maybe he misheard. Maybe he thought somebody said, "You like playing pool?" And he was like, yeah. But the other big one Ooh, Stefan de Vrij almost made it 4. The other big one was his Instagram post. Because if you guys remember, there was the rumor that he wanted McAllister's shirt number, which would be an absolute no, by the way. But then a few days later, he came out saying, I respect players. I never want other players' shirt numbers. So that also kind of felt like he was kind of confirming his own transfer. I think it will happen. I think lessons can still be learnt from this, though. With respect to kind of the WIRTZ kind of stuff first coming out in the media, if that was released by the club, there's perhaps a lesson that can be learnt from this, that in the future, don't release things so early. You know what I mean? It's just gonna cause anxiety, and it's just gonna kind of cause panic. But if it was leaked, like if it was not released by the club, then it is what it is. Johnny says, Sonny, I don't know about you, but I don't want Darwin. We'll buy Diaz as a super sub. Yeah. What kind of price would you be happy to pay for Diaz? BBC means big black cat. I'm sure it does. Johnny says, hi, Sonny and the goatfish. My twin Sonny and the goatfish. Damn right. Junior says, do you think that Malta will score? I think it's very unlikely. Malta have barely gotten out of their own box. Never mind their own half. It's just one Dutch attack after another currently. I mean, this match, it's borderline abuse, if I'm honest with you. It's literally bordering on abuse. It's like someone who's like 7 foot fighting someone who's like 10 years old. Like Malta just not offering anything. I've not seen Malta have the ball in the Dutch half, and as I say that, they then get the ball into the Dutch half. So maybe there's hope for them here. Liverpool Gold says there'll still be a lot of noise and negativity, especially from the media and social media. The club will reveal the cards as soon as they are ready. True. I guess my only criticism is if the WIRTZ stuff came out of the club, because sometimes the club briefs journalists. If that came out of the club, perhaps there's a lesson to be learnt to not let things out of the club so early the next time. Like the Fabinho deal was perhaps the best example. Fabinho was rumoured, and then 1 hour later he was signed. They perhaps don't need to go to that extent. Maybe a good time period is the Szoboszlai deal. The Szoboszlai deal kind of came out of nowhere. There were a few stories, and then a few days later it was done. Like from my perspective, I don't really care how much things are done, but from perhaps a PR perspective for the club, it perhaps doesn't look too good if they say something's almost done and then it's taking 3 weeks. So it's probably something that can be learnt from, but I feel like they'll get it done anyway. Did you see Maguire has been accused of having an affair with Onana's wife? I didn't see that. For some reason, I don't suspect this is genuine. But if it is, then that's their life. I guess. RG255 says, "Damn, creepy as hell. What is that? Not too sure, but it seems like you're inside now. So that's a positive." Liverpool Gold says the club can't win though, because if there was no news at all, people would be crying and foaming at the mouth because of no action. True. It's a balancing act. I think it's a balancing act, and again, I don't think they've done anything kind of hugely wrong. I don't think this is a disaster by any means, but like if this is what they're balancing, perhaps like the WIRTZ deal, for example, we suspect it will get done next week. So if we suspect it will get done next week, maybe they should have released the news a week later. That's kind of what I would do. Or maybe lead with the Kirkes news, or maybe stretch out the Frimpong stuff a bit. But I guess they couldn't. I guess their hands were forced with the Frimpong deal because they had to announce the Frimpong deal at the same day as the Trent leaving, if you recall. So all of this is all PR nonsense. So their hands were kind of tied with the Frimpong deal because they had to announce that on the same day Trent announced he was leaving, which is exactly what happened. I think with respect to the WIRTZ deal, they've perhaps hit a hiccup that they didn't anticipate, but that's not the end of the world. I'm sure they'll get it done. Sonny says, who would be your most disappointing player for Liverpool who failed to live up to your expectations? Probably Nunes. If WIRTZ falls under the same category, how long would you give him? Well, he signed I believe he signed a 5-year contract. I typically believe in giving players 3 years. And I think the reason why I would love to kind of give them more time than that. But once you give them more than 3 years, suddenly their kind of contract starts dwindling down. So after 3 years, you need to start thinking about the financial implications of potentially selling the player. If he signed a 6-year deal, I'd maybe give him 4 years. It depends. Liam Fox says, we as a club always look to get the best deal when making transfers. So it's only natural a massive signing like this would take time, as we're trying to get WIRTZ as cheap as possible. 100%, I agree with you. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with things kind of taking a bit longer to kind of get a better deal. I don't prescribe to the notion of just give them what they want. Because if you just give them what they want, that's how you fall into a Man United situation where you're paying 100 million for Anthony, where you're paying 350 grand a week in wages to average players. I'm 100%. And here's the other point, right? Here's the other point. If it was a case of just giving teams what they want, you don't need a sporting director. You can hire me. I can do that for you. Or you can hire Red Rebellion, or you can hire Liam, or you can hire Johnny. If it's a case of just giving teams what they want, we don't need a sporting director. Leverkusen say we want 160, and we're like, oh, here you go, 160. So we hire a sporting director to kind of get the best deal possible for the club on the best terms. So I don't mind things taking a bit longer if it's the right deal. Sonny says, oh, come on. Everyone knows that Liverpool are desperate for WIRTZ. You don't push the 100 million unless you want him this season. I wouldn't say kind of desperate. I think Liverpool have seen an opportunity to kind of get a player that they think can improve them. But I wouldn't say desperate. If, for example, with respect to player sales this season, you'd look at about 250 million, right? And if Liverpool were desperate, you'd give all the 250 million to get WIRTZ because you're desperate. So I don't think Liverpool are desperate for WIRTZ. I do think there's a point where they will back off and say, you know what, Leverkusen, you're taking the mick. We're not giving you anymore. And I think that point is probably around the 120 million mark. And if we offer 120 million and Leverkusen say we want more, I am more than happy with the club to stick 2 fingers up at Leverkusen and be like, all right, you can lose him on a free to whoever in 2 years. Goodbye. I know people will lose their minds at that, but I'd rather have an ounce of dignity and an ounce of self-respect. It's like give him a good fee. But if it's the pizza example I was using earlier, right? Like if you're really hungry, maybe you'll pay like 20-30 pounds for a pizza. But if the guy in the shop says, you know what, no, not 30, I want 60 pounds for one pizza, you can be like, mate, do one. So I hope the club takes a similar approach. We will pay 50 million because we will also buy Shirky. Well, Shirky's gone to Man City today for about like 30 million-ish. RG says FWFW. Not sure what that stands for. Top 10 Barcelona players. That's going to be hard, man. That I've seen in my lifetime. I don't know if I can give 10. Messi, Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o, Suarez. I don't know if Neymar would actually be in the list, you know. Obviously, Xavi, Iniesta. I thought Puyol was very good. Dani Alves. Busquets. Loads of good players. Johnny says play Pokemon Emerald. I think I did play Pokemon Emerald back in the day. It's on Game Boy though, right? I think. Yeah. I'm definitely with Liam and Liverpool goals with respect to kind of getting the best deal possible, especially when this will be a record-breaking deal. And the other kind of concern is because it's a record-breaking deal, fine margins are of imperative importance. So even like an extra 5% is a significant sum. So I want them to use all the acumen they have to kind of get the best deal possible. And I feel like we have the power in this situation because WIRTZ's deal is up in 2 years. And if someone else gets him, no problem. We'll still have 120 million in the bank. But again, I don't think it will come to that, but just for argument's sake. Junior says, how many goals do you think Malta will make? Netherlands, I mean, not Malta. The answer was in Johnny's username. I think Netherlands will score, is that 6 billion? But whatever Johnny's username is, they will score that many goals. Johnny also wants his girlfriend to be anti-Madrid, I see. Okay. So you said she needs to be 5'8". She needs to be good looking. You said she needs to be not overweight. And you said she needs to be comfortable with you having a bit on the side. And she also needs to be anti-Madrid. Okay, I mean, you never know. It's possible. Sunny says, brother, 120 million is not cheap at all. You've broken your club record. Agreed. And that's why it's all the more important to what's the word? That's why it's all the more important not to let that get even worse, kind of thing. Like 120 million is a significant amount of money. But I think the point I was making is if they ask for an extra 10%, an extra 10% is not like an extra £5. It's like an extra 100. It's an extra 12 million. So that's kind of why. Because like the club are already paying a significant amount of money. It's already too much. Like honestly, for me, that's already too much. So if that's why I was saying, if they keep saying, oh, a little bit more, 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 then I wouldn't really mind if we told them to do one. Johnny says, hire me. Liverpool are horny for WIRTZ. It seems like that, but it seems like there's a limitation to the horniness. Did Xavi Alonso not try for WIRTZ? I thought it would be the first one calling him. You'd think so. Madrid don't strike me as a club that would drop 120 million pounds on a player. If I'm honest with you, they're more let's see who we can kind of get for free. And it's probably because of FFP and that sort of thing. Johnny says WIRTZ will leave because Ten Hag is going to Leverkusen. I don't blame him. Liverpool goals says Johnny Bravo is making the moves. He is making the moves. We're just trying to advise him the best we can. Abdul Rahim says, hi everyone, how are you? Like, comment, share, subscribe. You never walk alone. Appreciate that, Abdul. How are you, Abdul? How are you doing? Hope things are well with you. Hope things are good with you. Hope you've had a nice start to the week so far. Liam says, if you get these deals done, then who would you want to sign next if you can raise more funds through selling players? That's a good question. I think we'll definitely get a striker. I think we'll definitely get a defender. My thing, like my personal thing, like I don't like my personal thing. I really want a defensive midfielder. Now, I absolutely love Gravenberch. I'd go so far to say he's my favorite player, as I've said previously, but we cannot afford to make the same mistake that we made with Fabinho, which is to get Ryan's skinny little legs, which are amazing, but we can't get his skinny little legs playing 60 games again, because we're gonna then fall into the reasoning we fall into 2 years where we say, oh, we've run him into the ground. Oh, we've run him into the ground. Let's not run poor Ryan into the ground. Let's get some competition for him within defensive midfield. So I would really love to see some sort of defensive midfielder kind of come in. It could be something a bit more exotic than that. So maybe they change tactics a bit and let Szoboszlai play a bit deeper. Who knows? But like the priority for me, I felt like a lot of the system kind of went through Gravenberch, and I feel like when Gravenberch was tired, it didn't work as well. So I would. I would really love some sort of defensive midfielder reinforcement. But how about you? What would you want? RG255 said he's got 40 seconds. 40 seconds, so what? Junior says, no, like how many? I need to bet. Dude, don't bet based on what I say. I talk nonsense. I mean, if you really insist on betting, bet on Netherlands winning. They're 3-0 up. I'm sure if you bet £30, you might get £1. I don't know. Abdul Rahim says Shirky 30 million would have been better and low risk. Yeah, this argument came up the other day. It was who's better, Shirky for 30 or WIRTZ for 120? And I said WIRTZ is a better player, but 30 to 120, that's 4 times. I don't think WIRTZ is 4 times a better player than Shirky. He's definitely not 4 times better. So from a value for money perspective, and from a kind of marginal gains perspective, Shirky would be better. Sonny's top players for Barcelona: Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, Ronaldinho, Puyol, Suarez, Busquets, Eto'o, Rivaldo. I forgot about Rivaldo. And Johan Cruyff as well. Where is Bastoni and Summer going? Not too sure. I don't think Bastoni will leave Italy. Italians appear to be kind of quite reluctant to leave Italy, but let's see what happens. In terms of the positions, I agree with Abdul there. In terms of what's left, yeah, because we've already got a right back. A left back is probably going to be done in Kirkes. A centre back, I agree with. A defensive midfielder, I agree with, and a striker, I agree with. If I was to rank the priority order of those 3, I'd say number 9, a striker, is the most important, because I feel like Salah having a generational season kind of carried Liverpool to the title this year. And I don't think we can bet on Salah having a generational season again. So in terms of my ranking there, striker would be the number 1 most important. A centre-back would probably be the 2nd most important, and a CDM would be the 3rd most important. The reason why I was emphasizing the CDM is because I haven't really heard many people talk about it. But yeah, I'd say number 9 is the most important, defender's the 2nd most important, and defensive midfield the 3rd most important. RG255 says, I don't have a dog, I don't have a girlfriend, but I have a ex. As in an ex-girlfriend, is that? Xabi will go for Grimaldo, probably. Liverpool Gold says that Endo is not leaving though, so I highly doubt a new midfielder will join unless he leaves. We won't be able to accommodate 7 midfielders. Neither do we have the space in our squad. I hear you. I think the issue with Endo is it looks like the manager kind of doesn't really kind of fancy him. I wish the manager did fancy him, not from a looks perspective. I mean, if Slot likes that. But I meant fancy him from a footballing perspective. But I think Elliott's probably going to go, which will kind of free up a bit of space. Diaz might go, which will free up some kind of squad space. I don't feel like we've maxed out the 25 at the moment, if you know what I mean. But I think there might be room for kind of one more. But it's a good point on Endo, to be fair. Because if a defensive midfielder does come in, then Endo is going to probably never touch grass, ever. So, no, that's a good point. Even though I'd rather keep Endo, because I like Endo, and I think he's got a good attitude, and I think he's good for the market, good for the Asian market, he's on low wages. Perhaps they need to kind of sort that situation out. Liam says, I think a striker is the most important. Me too. Before any other position. If we could sell Nunes and bring someone in, that would be good. That would be ideal. I think there will be 2 departures from the front line. I think Nunes is guaranteed to go, and I think the other one that will probably be Diaz. And I've got a feeling Jota will stay. Number 1, because Slot seems to love Jota, and number 2, because Slot seems to love Jota. So it's both number 1 and number 2. But yeah, just looking at the forward line, Nunes you'd probably get 50-60. Diaz you'd probably get 60. That's 120. Now, I'm not saying spend that on Isak, but spend that on somebody. and then yeah, we'll go from there. I'm not overly enthused about the possibilities, though. I've heard Ekitike, not convinced. Heard Sesko, looks a bit better, but still looks like a project player. He looks like Nunes with slightly sharper facial features. So Ekitike, not convinced. The Sesko, not convinced. Gyökeres, I'm not convinced. I don't really know who's out there other than Isak and Alvarez. But I suppose that's the job of the scouting department. Yes, striker is the missing piece now. Prolific one will complete the puzzle. It certainly will. It certainly will complete the puzzle of the front line, I think. And another one is Chiesa. I don't know if Chiesa is going to go, if Chiesa is going to leave, or if Chiesa is going to stay. That's another one. But yeah. In terms of the priority that remains, it's definitely that kind of central striker position. Because as we were kind of saying earlier, this season I think was largely successful because Salah had a generational season. And there's no guarantee he'll have one again. And to be honest, in all likelihood, he won't do it again next year. So let's sort the striker position out. Johnny says, even if he wasn't so good for Barcelona... do you mean Griezmann? Griezmann's one of my favourite players. Johnny says, hi, Abdul. I agree with Sunny. See, you guys are agreeing now, which is much better. Which is much better. I don't feel like I'm in the middle anymore. Johnny says, is Robertson leaving Liverpool? Probably not. I think Tsimikas will probably go this year. Partly because he's younger and they can get a bigger fee for him. With respect to Robertson, I feel like they value his leadership capability. And I think his contract is up next year. So they'll probably kind of keep Robertson for one more year, probably. And then maybe release him next year. I don't know. It depends. It depends how he does. But I think Robertson will definitely stay this year. Where's Victor Gyökeres going? Please tell me he's not going to Arsenal. I heard that he's going to Man United. I don't know how much truth there is in that. I don't know if they just saw the Amarim link and said, let's ship him over there. Johnny says, do you have a pet? Yes and no. Like I have a cat, but he actually lives at my parents' house. If you are single, I can arrange you with my friend's mom. That's very good to hear. That's very good to hear. But it depends. Like, is she 5'8"? I won't say the age thing because that's specific to you. But is she 5'8"? Is she anti-Madrid? Is she not too overweight? And what was your last requirement? Whatever the last one was. Oh, and does she not mind me having a bit on the side? I think that was your last one. Nunez will go to Sunday League. Nunez is the type of guy to turn up to Sunday League on a Friday. Like, I'm not convinced Nunez knows what day it is. How does selling a player work? Let's say I have 2 more years. The club wants to sell, but I don't want to leave my lucrative deal. How much pull does a player have? I'm not too sure, and this is something I've always wondered myself, if you know what I mean. Clubs seem to have a way of kind of convincing players to go. They probably say to the player that, look, you kind of don't have a future here. We're not gonna play you, and if you want to play in the World Cup, you're gonna have to go. So they probably emotionally kind of try and apply pressure on the player to get them to leave. That doesn't work all the time. But they've probably got means of kind of saying, look, if you don't go, then things are not gonna be great for you. Wim Malfay, aka the Club Bruges fan, says, yo, I'm watching Netherlands too. It's a good game. Very good goal by Van Dijk. Van Dijk scored a shot from outside the box, which was pretty crazy. Sonny says, this is BS. It's even worse than Arsenal. Then there goes Gyökeres's whole career. Another soul in the graveyard. It would appear so. Man United does appear to be the club where players go to die, unfortunately. I guess he does have a link with Amarim, being there, his former manager, but then that didn't grow too well for Ten Hag. Alisson, Mamadashvili, Robbo, Kerkez, Van Dijk, Konate, Tsimikas, Endo, McAllister, WIRTZ, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Salah, Jota, Diaz, Gakpo, Chiesa. 18 homegrown players. We can only register 17. True. Of that list, Nunez will probably go. Diaz will probably go. Chiesa possibly go in. That's the trouble, I guess, because Kelleher was homegrown. Kelleher was homegrown, which is one of the things I liked about him, but Mamadashvili is unfortunately not homegrown. Trying to think, is anyone else going to be kind of homegrown? Kerkez, nah, he probably didn't play in England. WIRTZ, yeah. 18 non-homegrown players. We can only register 17. So our spaces max players have to leave now. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Nunez goes, that frees up a spot. I think a couple of these will go and they'll free up a spot. But the thing is, we'll probably buy non-homegrown players to replace them. So then, as soon as the new players come in, the spots are filled again, unless they do a bit of wizardry. I reckon Chiesa will go and won't be replaced. Nunez will leave and be replaced. That's probably sensible. And then that way you essentially get back to the 17. Because you get back to the 17 with replacements who are not homegrown. Maybe they've got a plan of playing Szoboszlai on the right. Maybe there's a plan of playing WIRTZ on the right, if kind of to cover Salah. Maybe they get some young English lad in. AFC Dave said Tuchel might just be a fraud. What's the score? I actually don't even know. Don't tell me they're losing. I'm watching the Netherlands game. Oh, it's 1-1. It's 1-1 at half time. I think you're right. They kind of hired him because he was a cup manager, and I appreciate he's a cup manager, but equally, I feel like the issue with Southgate was he's too defensive, and Tuchel to me has always felt like a defensive manager as well. We're playing awful. It's worse than Southgate. Damn. Awful in the what sense? Is it like too defensive? Is it like too slow? Is it just devoid of creativity? Netherlands are playing great. Van Dijk scored a shot from outside the box. This is beautiful viewing. But yeah, I presume England are playing very slowly, very slow build up, making it terrible. Johnny is now giving me the top 10 highest players list. See, I don't know if Fish is still here, but Fish should appreciate the impact he has on everyone. Number 10 is himself. Number 2 is me. I've never been as high as number 2 before. I think the highest position I've been is like 6 or 7. So I appreciate the number 2. Number 3 is Lily Phillips. Sunny is a new entry. In number 4. 5 is Fish. 6 is Eden Hazard. I was going to say Alden Ring. Eden Hazard. 7 is his bold coach. 8 is his past foster mum. Interesting. Is that who you're trying to set me up with? 9 is Johnny Madrid, and 10 is himself again. Yeah. This is a authentic Fish list because he said the same person twice. So Fish will be very proud of that. I thought Chiesa was going to leave. Yeah, I reckon he will leave. Liverpool Goals was saying he suspects he'll leave, and then we won't replace him, and then that's how we'll make up the additional number in the homegrown list. But yeah, I can see it happening. I also haven't reset this timer. I appreciate nobody cares about the game, but and the Liverpool chat's more interesting. I'd agree. But here you go. I'll set the timer to appear vaguely professional. You guys did sign a goalkeeper, right? Who was he? Armin Pesky. You want to see him? Oh look, we're wearing the same shirt. This wasn't done deliberately. I just noticed we're wearing the same shirt. I got the Champions League patch though. I got the Champions League patch, Armin. Where's your Champions League patch, Armin? But yeah, this his is real, to be fair. Yeah, this guy, Hungarian goalkeeper, 1.5 million, I believe. Again, based on one YouTube compilation I watched, it looks pretty good. Looks very athletic. Looks a bit like a spider. Plays a bit like a spider. And again, this is a compliment. Like, looks like he's got 8 legs. He can kind of, very good shot stopper from what I've seen. But yeah, 1.5 million. If he's good, great. If he's rubbish, no problem. But looks good. Johnny says, others buy players, we create them. Very true. Yaros, Curtis Jones, Elliott, Morton, Frimpong, Bradley, Hill, Gomez are homegrown players. 8 out of the 25-man squad can only be homegrown. Let's see. So Elliott might go from that list. Morton might go from that list. So it will be interesting to see how things change. Blackburn got a Belgian player, says Wim Malfay. His name is Dino de Denver. Remember the name. So let's look at the picture so that people remember the face and they remember the name. Or is this is like a dinosaur? Is this like a dinosaur? Blackbird. Belgian player. Dion Deneuve. There you go. Remember this person. I mean, I don't think he's had much sleep recently, but remember him nonetheless. We have 8 and homegrown players, and we're only able to replace with homegrown players or under 21 players. Yeah, I think there'll be a bit of wizardry. A bit of wizardry will happen to kind of get the numbers correct again. They've probably got things in the pipeline that we don't know about, but yeah, I'm sure they'll get that sorted. Sunny says, "Is Bukayo?" I've not heard that slander name before, but that's pretty good. Is Bukayo Saka playing? I never got the hype for Bukayo Saka by the Arsenal. Like, which other big club can he be a starter? Well, he'd be a bench player at Liverpool because he plays in Salah's position. I mean, Saka's okay. I mean, he's a bit overrated. I mean, he scores like 10 goals a season, and I'm supposed to say this is mind blowing. Ooh, I thought Netherlands were gonna get a fourth. I mean, he's fine. I mean, he's fine. I mean, he's not fine. He's better than fine. But yeah, he could work on his output for definite. So right now we've got 26 first team players. We can only register 25. Club has got its work cut out to move on players. They do. I would hopefully like to think, and I would be quite confident that they've known this situation for a year. They've been planning for this for a year. I'd like to think they're quite organized, and now they are merely going to conduct the transactional aspects of what they've been planning throughout the year. So I'd like to think they know, and they'll get it sorted, kind of thing. We won't have like a Barcelona situation, no offense, Sonny or Johnny, where we're signing players and we can't register them. It's better to be a spider than a snake. Very true. I like that. Johnny's getting new Wi-Fi tomorrow. Very nice. Johnny's top 10 list. I think this is... Just trying to double check. I think that's quite the same as the one we had before. Yeah, and I appreciate your faster mom being in position number 8. Wim says, is a signing of KV Court dish. This is your player. Dion Denev. That's where... Yeah, here you go. It says it there. I don't know if you can see it. Courtwich. Blackburn sign Courtwich winger. Very nice. Do you have any date? It depends. It depends on the context. It depends on the context. Depends on the situation. Saka's not world class, says Johnny. I hear ya. Sunny says, thank you for that lovely comment. And long may it continue. We should ever register anyone ever again. Yeah, I think you should be okay going forward. I'm surprised Netherlands haven't scored anymore. They seem to have... They seem to have kind of stopped bothering. I guess it's easy to stop bothering once you go 3-0 up, to be fair. It's a corner to Malta, though. They better not let... Is it the Maltans or is it the Maltesers? They better not let the Maltesers back into this game. Cleared. Rubbish corner in the end. Bring on Frimpong, man. That's the only reason we're here. What are they doing? We want to see Jeremy. Weefa's come on. Lang has come on. But Frimpong is not yet on. Johnny says, I don't appreciate the foster mom who rejected me. Well, it seems like it's her loss. It is her loss. What's the name of your club's youth academy? I think it's just called like Liverpool under 21s, I think. Like it doesn't have like a special name like Castilla or anything. It's just Liverpool under 21s. We're not fancy like that. Castilla's the Real Madrid one, isn't it? Have Barcelona got one? I'm sure Barcelona have got a name. FC Barcelona Athletic. Yeah, that's Barcelona B. Sonny with a question for his twin brother says, Johnny, what's your opinion on Bartomeu? Is he the former president or is he still the president? Liverpool Youth Academy, that's what it's referred to as. Oh, okay. That's pretty nice. It sounds a bit more professional and it sounds a bit fancier than the under 21s, as I said. Liverpool Youth Academy. Or the AXA Academy. So our club's name is available for sponsorship. That's good to know. I'll go for Liverpool Youth Academy. Johnny says top 10 La Masia Barcelona players. Isn't that what we did before? Where you mentioned Rivaldo and I was like, Rivaldo's a good one. Forgot about him. Sonny says a former POS made all the wrong signings and went away from the soul of Barcelona. Well, I think you've made your feelings quite clear on that one. Malta are bringing on a sub, not that it'll make any difference. When does the Club World Cup start? Is it on Sunday? In which case, you might not see my amazing face until Sunday. Even then, it's at like Sunday at like 8 o'clock. Club World Cup start date. It says Saturday. But is this like time difference and all that nonsense? Sonny says Bartomeu wanted to be like Real Madrid and dumped the La Masia ideas. Like, remember the only so-called Ansu Fati. But under Laporta, we got... Oh, it's 4-0 by the way. We got Gavi, Pedri, Yamal and Kubalfi. I think that was an easy goal there. Through ball by Memphis. Finished by Xavi Simons. Malta are trash, it would appear, to put it lightly. Johnny says, bro, me as a president is better than him. So this is better than Bartomeu. The soul of Barcelona is in our hearts, but it is not in the heart of Bartomeu. Weghorst is coming on. Cliver is coming off. Patrick Cliver. I swear Patrick Cliver, as in this Cliver's dad, used to play for Barcelona. I swear he did. Yeah, he did. Patrick Cliver. He looks very different now. La Masia is Barcelona's academy. Indeed it is. Liverpool Gold says, I'm off to continue with more editing. Have a great evening and see you all soon. Hope you have a great evening also editing. And yeah, take care. All the best. See you soon. Look forward to the videos. Fish says, I'm back. That's good to know, Fish, because you might have missed a lot. Just for your context, this is what Johnny was posting when you weren't here. So your top 10, your concept of your top 10 hottest players list has caught on. So Johnny's top 10 hottest players list. Number 1 is himself. Number 2 is me. I'm number 2. 3 is Lily Phillips. 4 is Sunny. 5 is Fish. So you did make Johnny's list. 6 is Eden Hazard. 7 is his bold coach. 8 is his past faster mom. 9 is Johnny Madrid, and 10 is himself again. The me again at the end, that's authentically Fish. That is. The only thing that he's missing is That's the only thing that's missing. But that looks pretty authentic. That is. So yeah, the legend of Fish is growing, it seems. Sunny says, and also Bartomeu was the guy who refused to give Messi an extension, which led to him leaving. Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I remember this. This is that guy with glasses, isn't it? This is that guy with glasses. Bartomeu. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be particularly fondly remembered. Johnny says, hi, Fish. Who is Johnny Madrid at number 9? I knew Johnny is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Well, there's a question. Who is Johnny Madrid? The Malta fans in the crowd don't look particularly happy. Don't look happy at all. Johnny is inspired by Fish, so Fish is inspiring us all with his top 10 hottest players lists, which at least once have to have the same person in there twice. Johnny pulled the Luis Figo on me. I throw darts at his photo. Wow. This particular individual is highly despised. Oh my God, England are losing. What is going on? I just figured I'd just check the score, because AFC Dave earlier mentioned that England were not playing well. So I randomly just clicked on the score here, and they're losing. I mean, that's just embarrassing, man. How are you losing to Senegal? People are saying whatever Thomas Tuchel said at halftime has not worked in the slightest. The thing is with Tuchel, like Tuchel is not gonna be given multiple chances because let's be honest, most people still feel a bit weird about the whole appointment for obvious reasons. Johnny says, no, Johnny Madrid is a guy who joined the stream one day. I'm loyal to Barcelona more than my girlfriend. Ah, yes, Johnny Madrid from TikTok, I believe. I think, from the other day. Well, if and when we see him again, he'll be very happy that he made the list. Explain it to Sunny. Well, okay. So, the other day, I think it was Sunday. So we had this Johnny here. And then we had another Johnny. And it was getting a bit confusing, saying, okay, Johnny said this. And then I'm like, Johnny said that. Johnny said this. Johnny said that. And then I was saying, look, we need a way of differentiating between the two Johnnies, right? And I think the other Johnny, he supported Atletico, I think. So we said we'll call him Johnny A. Whereas this Twitch Johnny, we said we'll call you Johnny B because the B stands for Barcelona. And then he said, okay, what profile picture should I set? And I said, Johnny B is kind of like Johnny Bravo. So why don't you set Johnny Bravo? And then a few days later, I came back and he had actually set it. So yeah, that's the context of Johnny A, Johnny B, and the picture. Snus says, "Holy S, England is ass 2-1 down to Senegal." Yeah, literally like a minute before you joined, I said, "You know what? I'm just gonna randomly check the England score, and the top update is, oh my God, Senegal 2, England 1." Oh God, England are utterly hopeless, aren't they? England are like utterly trash. The thing is with Tuchel as well, like he's not going to be given like the benefit of the doubt for obvious reasons. People are like not happy that they hired him. So I feel like as soon as the pressure's on him, England might look to kind of make a change. Just looking at some of the comments, people are saying, are all England managers told to just do the same thing? It was AFC Dave, wasn't it, earlier, was saying what he's seeing is even worse than kind of what he saw under Southgate. Johnny says, I'm not Figo. Mitrovic hat-trick for Serbia. Who are they playing? I saw Norway won again yesterday. You must be happy about that. 1-0, I think. Serbia 3-0 up against Andorra. Sunny says, unlucky. Bukayo Saka, ole ole. He cries. I always think this is going to be like a serious comment. And then I'm like halfway through. I get like halfway through and I'm like, this is... Because I was reading like a serious tone, and then like, this is not serious. He cries like a girl, ole ole. Where are the Arsenal fanboys, ole ole? They're probably watching the England game, but they should have watched the Netherlands game like us, because this is 4-0 up. Sunny says, England is ready for the World Cup. Yes, ready again to have expectations this high, but to ultimately falter. For Serbia, Estonia had more fight than Italy, funnily enough. Fair enough. I mean, Italy don't seem to be kind of what they were. But yeah, that's two wins. 2 wins on the trot for Norway. Sunny said, so a Madrista made your list. I think he supports Atletico Madrid, Johnny A. I don't know if that's any better or worse. Fish randomly just says Athens, because why not? Athens. Who's actually in the lineup for England? They got Henderson. That's not Jordan Bryan Henderson. I suspect that's Dean Henderson. Why is Kyle Walker there? Why is Kyle Walker still there? Why is he still a thing? Number one. And number two, why are they playing 4-4-2? Why are they playing 4-4-2? It's not 1995 anymore. Chalobah, Colwill, Lewis Kelly, Saka on the right wing, which is so weird because he's left-footed. So surely like he should play on the right of a front three, but never mind. Gallagher, Rice, Gordon, Eze and Kane. Yeah, this manager ain't gonna last. he's already on a short fuse because not many people wanted him. Noah hit the post. Estonia hit the bar once and the post, so easily could have been 2-2. Sounds like it. But I guess the actual result is the one that matters. Sonny says, "Oh, Atletico, you mean the small team? Oh, then it's okay. Real Madrid is the one to watch out for." Yeah, so that's good. That's good to know. It's good that we've clarified that, Sonny, that the hatred is at a Real Madrid level rather than being at a global Madrid level. So that's good to know. CFC, Arsenal and Crystal Palace, ole, ole, ole. We came out of it with luck, honestly. Fair enough. I hear. But a win's a win, I guess. Maybe you could borrow some of that luck to England. Apparently, Ivan Toney is furious because he came all the way to Saudi and Tuchel keeps making substitutions but is not putting him on. Ooh, 5-0. 5-0. Someone with a bold head. I think that's Marlon. Someone with a shiny head. That must be Marlon. Shiny Marlon gets the 5th. I don't know if you've seen from this Netherlands game, but for the third goal, Van Dijk scored a shot from outside the box. So it's been pretty good. But this one here, crossed in, kind of like a cutbacky type of thing, but a goal's a goal. 5-0. I saw Gravenberch and Cody were subbed off. Did they do bad first half? Not too bad, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, Netherlands are like kind of dominating. So it's hard to pinpoint like that anyone had done bad when they were so high up, to be honest. I hope and I presume it was more of a kind of rest thing. Game was gone. Game was sorted. Let's give some other people a chance now. I'd like to see Mr. Frimpong come on, though. The only thing I hate more than Real Madrid is Cristiano Pupinaldo. But I conclude my statement from Penaldo Tapinaldo. Go back to your shakes in the Serie Pro League. Good to know. Ismail Aguirre is doing his prayers on a Tuesday night. Hope that goes well for you. Speaking of, was it a rocket? From Van Dijk? Rocket-ish. Yeah, not top corner, but it was outside the box. It was strong, but it wasn't like a rocket. It was strong and it was low, but it was a nice goal, to be fair. I just assumed he scored a corner header like he normally does. True. Yeah. If you saw the score, you'd think that. But for us, it was like, oh my god, somebody scored like a long shot, and I'm like, is that Van Dijk? Is that Van Dijk? Number one, what is Van Dijk doing in the number 10 position? And number two, how has he just scored a shot from outside the box? The funny thing as well, like he won the ball in like the midfield. So I don't know why he was so high up. He won the ball, then kind of played a 1-2 with somebody, and then just smacked it. It was nice. Just because he can. Very true. Oh my god, people are asking if would you accept 30 million for Nunes? And we're like, guys, we're desperate, but we're not that desperate. Oh god, it's 6-0. There's me checking Florian WIRTZ news, and apparently it's 6-0. They're showing a bold head again, so I predict it's Marlon. Marlon was through on the right wing. Oh, and it's a tap in, I think, for Kluivert. Six 0. Van Dijk versus Ramos, skill versus legacy. Skill I'll give to Van Dijk. I think legacy you have to give to Ramos. Johnny, if you're here, who's better in their prime, Piqué or Ramos? Well, that's a tough question. Ivan Tony doesn't look best, please. Oh my god. The sadness, madness in his eye. They didn't have to zoom in on him kind of quite that much. Fair enough if you pick him and don't seem to even want to give him a few minutes. But he must have stunk it up bad in training for Tuchel not to follow whatsoever. They didn't have to do him quite so dirty with the zoom. Oh my god, don't tell me these lot are scored again. Don't tell me that's 7. I can't even remember which goal is which. I think that might be 7, because it's Marlon again. Because the last one was what's its face? Kluivert. Jesus, 7-0. 7-0. That's just embarrassing. That's Man United level of embarrassing. Why they put a turnip on him? They're calling him turnip Tuchel. You chose the correct game, 100%. I vowed never to watch an England game again because they're always so boring. Trent in a Real Madrid kit. Never thought I'd see that. I can't believe he went to Real Madrid just for bromance with Jude. Happy married life. Yeah, let's hope the romance continues. Apparently, he's being announced like formally as a Real Madrid player on Thursday. Like, you know, where they do their whole conference and say, "Look at us, we announce players," because that's on Thursday apparently. So if that's on Thursday morning, maybe the WIRTZ news will come out Thursday evening. Lol. Yeah, let's hope Senegal hold on to that. Is Mane? I mean, Sadio Mane ain't even playing. What excuse have they got? Okay, so he will do the mandatory. Uno, dos, tres, Hala Madrid, soon, man. F you, Real Madrid. we will be hate watching him during the Club World Cup. Ooh, ball's just gone over. Van Dijk's just taking more shots from outside the box now. He just literally doesn't care anymore. Yeah, Van Dijk's so high up. Like he's basically winning the ball like beyond the halfway line at this point. That would mean Van Dijk's been part of 2 7-0s. One for the club and one for the country. And both teams on the receiving end of the 7-0 begin with the letters MA. Marlon is looking very good in this game. I appreciate it's easy, given it's Malta and all that. Does that mean James Carragher has let in has let in 7 goals? I totally yeah, James Carragher has let in 7 goals. Yeah, people are not being particularly nice about Carragher online. I can't believe there's a Club World Cup without Liverpool and Barcelona. But Atletico Madrid are there. What have Atletico Madrid won in the last 4 years? Precisely. It won't be as big a tournament. It won't have as many eyes on it without those 2 teams in particular. Let's see if Netherlands can get an 8th goal. again, nicely done by Cliver. Sunny says, I have to make a list of the things that I hate the most. Is it really a list though, if it's just got one thing on it? I mean, surely, what else is on this list apart from Real Madrid? Jude scores 2-2. He keeps popping up with late goals, but that's fine. Let them paper over the cracks. Apparently, VAR is looking at that Jude goal. But I think from an England perspective, hopefully the damage is already done. Yeah, it says VAR is looking at it. Is there a deliberate handball by Levi Colwill? Stephanie Frappart has been instructed to look at the goal, on the pitch side manager has been taken away. Oh God. Oh England, you are so useless. You suck at football. You're good at some things. Football is not one of them. Good, no Jude that can save them. Yeah, Jude can save himself or his boyfriend next week. A creature called CR7 is first in my... he's a creature called CR7. First in my list, then Real Madrid, and last but not least, every single delusional Arsenal fan who said that they're a big club without winning a Champions League. That's going to be one big list then. It's going to be one big list. You will run out of paper writing that list. Lee Dixon is saying, I don't agree with that decision. Lee Dixon is saying, I don't agree with that decision. Of course you don't agree, because you're a biased idiot. Snus says, wait, isn't Sonny a Man United fan? He is a Barcelona fan. So Sonny and Johnny and Durwood support Barcelona. I think that's it, I think. Oh, Barcelona fan. I thought he was Man United fan. No, he was describing Man United as the place where careers go to die earlier. See, I think it was probably too far back for me to bring it up. But yeah. Oh my God, people are complaining about VAR now. People are complaining about VAR. Like, why do you need? It's only a friendly but an outrageous decision. It's like, why do you need VAR to, like, you know? You should be beating Senegal regardless of that. That's the other thing about England fans, like, so pretentious, and the level of self-importance is irritating. Glad he don't hate us for selling them Coutinho and stuff. 4-3 at the home and stuff. Yeah, thankfully. Thankfully we don't talk about that too much. Oh, is it 8? Oh, is it 8? It's 8! It's 8! It's 8! Van de Ven. Man. 8-0. Yeah. I typically pick the worst games to watch, but not today. England are 1 minute away from a defeat, which would be a deserved defeat. Dutch fans look happy, but of course you would be when you win 8-0. Sunny says, okay, adios, sayonara, and bye. I didn't forget the 4-3, but trust me, the 8-2 hurts more. Bye, see you soon. It's coming home, but unfortunately, England is a homeless beggar at this point. I hear ya. Yeah, take care, Sunny. This game is just finished for me as well. So I'll go in the next 2-3 minutes. Just waiting to see what happens. Waiting to see what happens with this England game. I'll see if I can catch the last 2 minutes, or is it over already? England game is a dud. It says 90 plus 3. The Dutch game was just finished. 8-0. 8-0. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I was gonna watch a movie tonight, but not anymore. Okay. I'm just gonna be following the outrage, following the anger, following the crashing down on reality to shatter the delusions. Oh, Senegal are through. I've just put it on. Senegal, make it 3, make it 3. It's 3. It's 3. It's 3. It's 3. I just turned it on and they scored the 3rd goal. I was going to go to sleep and I thought, you know what, there's 2 minutes left. Why don't I just put it on? And as I put it on, some Senegal player was just running down. Just running down. It's 3-1. England are shite. Hero Brian says, hello. Hello, Hero Brian. Saka, Declan Rice, MLS, Chelsea players and Crystal Palace. That's what happens when Liverpool players are not playing. Very true. Oh, this is going to be so funny. Jude Bellingham is annoyed, but when is he not annoyed? It was Sabali. So I presume Mane has retired from international football. That Sabali guy was rapid. Nice finish, to be fair. Nice finish. How'd you lose 3-1 to Senegal, man? Says another disaster for England. Guys, here we go, WIRTZ. Are you... Oh wow, I thought you were trolling. You ain't trolling. You're being honest. I was gonna get excited. Exclusive. FLORIAN WIRTZ to Liverpool. Here we go. Liverpool verbally agreed deal in principle. And again, we have to thank M Masks for this. because I was about to go to sleep after the Netherlands game. Liverpool verbally agreed deal in principle, package reaching 150 million euros. So what's that? About 120 million quid. Player side already agreed 2 weeks ago with move now imminent. WIRTZ set for medical and contract signing. Well, thank you for that, Masks. Nice. Well, it shows a lot of the panic was. I can't lie. Even though it's not my money, I'm like fucking 150. What is It's 120 million, right? 150 euro in GBP, about 126, 127. It's good to hear. And I think England have lost, but who cares? WIRTZ up for medical and contract signing. Easy. Easy indeed. Fair enough. That is what it is. Exciting news. Appreciate the updates. I'm gonna go now because I want to enjoy the outrage from England versus Senegal. But yeah, probably be back on Sunday because I don't think there's listen to those Gias boos greet the final whistle. It says my star boy. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that's been kind of wrapped up pretty early now. Now I don't have to deal with any nonsense about is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? Why is nothing progress? Why is nothing happen? Also means I can resubscribe to certain people on YouTube that I've unsubscribed from because I just felt like I was being fed fake news. But it's good to hear. It's good to hear this is over the line now. So let's see what happens in the next few days. I think the transfer window was kind of closing today for the Club World Cup, so they probably wanted to get that sorted. So who's gonna go? I think Elliot's pretty much definitely gone. That will probably pay a significant fee. Crazy money, man. Okay, I'm glad that's sorted. We can get on with our lives. But anyways, I'm going to go now. I will be back on Sunday. All good. Take care, guys. Enjoy WIRTZ and enjoy England being rubbish. I don't know which one of those is better. Hopefully they're equal. But anyway, take care, guys.